in the point standings in 1993. Actually, he did run a couple of late model races earlier in the season, and quite possibly we're going to see more of him in late model next year. Kid Freitas out of line with the 33X car. We're going to hold under caution one more time. Not quite sure what the problem is, other than Freitas cannot get into line. Danny Cordaway has already thrown the yellow flag. We're going to wait one additional circuit before we get this away. Well, you can see Teddy Harlow with the spoiler on the back of the 54 car. Mike Caprio has the spoiler as well. A couple of the boys have a little bit bigger motor than usual. Basically, the limited sportsman cars were pretty much restricted as to what they could change for this afternoon's competition. Off the fourth turn, green flag is out, and Danny Green bought count up at 23 sets of pace into turn number 1. Scotty Souza in the 2X run second. Terry Page doing a fine job on the outside, battling with Eddie Reed in the 27 car. Side by side at the line, they're battling for the 3rd spot. Kid Freitas runs in the 5th spot, but Mike Caprio about to challenge for that position with car number 50X. Sub Savati with a nice move with car number 9 back in the pack. Looks as though he could break into the top 7 as he moves to the outside of Harlow through the turn. Problem, car number 66, Wayne Curry tagging the Onco. Did rearrange the sheet metal, but is able to keep the car rolling in a forward motion. A lot of action back in the pack. But Danny Green, the leader of the pack off that 4th turn, as Eddie Reed and Scott Souza come together. Now back in the back is Gene Flick and Al Lewis doing a little duet off turn 4. Now the field begins to settle down and stretch it out. It'll be 4 laps completed this time by Danny Green on the chase by Eddie Reed Jr. with car number 27. Scotty Souza still in that 3rd spot with the 2X car. Looks as though position number 4 may change down the 300-foot long back straightaway as Mike Caprio appears to have the better of Terry Page. Back at the front of the pack, it's Eddie Reed Jr. not content with the runner-up on it. Back in the back, Terry Page runs into problems as the 28 jumps out of line, heads towards the wall. But the driver able to regain control in time and keeps it in a forward motion. Looks as though he may have a tire down. Pulls it up into the marble. Halfway flag is out. That means 6 down, 6 to go. And indeed, that is the problem on Terry Page's number 28. The right front tire has gone away, crossing into the pit area. Side-by-side battle continues for the lead. Danny Green on the inside has Eddie Green on the outside. Chevy on the inside, Ford on the outside. You can't ask for much better of a classic confrontation. Eddie Reed, car number 27, uses the horsepower advantage down the back straightaway to take over command. And Danny Green runs in that 2nd spot. And it's Mike Caprio, Scotty Souza, the 9 of Savardi, the 33X of Freitas, all the way back to the 63 of Cook, and the 34 of Reynolds. So we have Chevy, Ford, if we look way back to find the Chrysler product. Car, well, just Chrysler all over the place. The big Dodge really knows how to get around here in a hurry. Two to go, being posted this time by Popsicle sticks above the flag stand, signals to the driver. Last times around the block. Eddie Reed still on the throttle by Danny Green, battling with Mike Caprio for the 2nd spot. Scotty Souza running in that 4th spot with the 2X. As we have one more circuit left. White flag tells the drivers back time around the block, gentlemen. Eddie Reed Jr. well on his way to victory here this afternoon. It's going to be Eddie Reed, Danny Green, Mike Caprio. That's the way they run down the back straightaway, but that could change at any moment. As the checkered flag waves, we have a battle for that runner-up spot. As Eddie Reed got across the line to pick up the win. Danny Green will get the 2nd spot, 3rd to Mike Caprio. Then it's the 2X of Scotty Souza, the 9 of Sub Savardi, the 33X of Kit Freitas, the 34 of Tucker Reynolds, Jeff Cook in the 63, Teddy Hollow in the 54. And after that, well, we're going to have to wait for the scorers to sort out the remaining finishers here in round number 1. Well, looks as though Dean Glick in the 07X and Al Lewis in the 22 car will round out the qualifiers in round number 1. Round number 2, set to come out on the speedway. Eddie Reed, fresh out of Victory Lane, making some more changes, getting set for his feature action this afternoon. Well, if you haven't already noticed, the black number 4 out of the racetrack, look at the wing on top. Basically, it's a super modified wing. He was out here testing with it last week. And he also, by the way, folks, has a big motor in that race car. He won with it last night, was disqualified because of the motor. It turns out it's a pro stock motor that had been used earlier this season. Green flag is out in round number 2 as Wozniak able to break to the outside, and we've got the leader all by his lonesome off turn number 2. Dave Zemke, car 17, tucked into the 2nd spot, and Jerry Savicki runs 3rd, but keep your eyes on car number 7 as the king. Now trying to power his way to the front. He's got some extra ponies under the hood, not afraid to utilize the extra energy. Little slip sliding, so 3 wide into turn number 1. Gambino ducked down low, Pete Rocket on a sandwich in the middle. Gentlemen, there's no place to go. Zemke caught in the middle on the backstretch. He becomes the meat of the sandwich, and everybody slides on by. Mark LaJoy trying to utilize that extra down pressure with the Ford car. He's already up to the 4th spot and closing. Could be 3rd as they go down the back straightaway into turn 3. Jerry Savicki on the outside opens the door. LaJoy sticks his foot in the throttle, comes out into number 2 spot. Gambino hot on the brakes through the turn with car number 7. He's got a lot of horsepower under the hood. A fast modified driver. Looks as though he hasn't forgotten his way around the speedway. 4 laps completed. Jerry Savicki pumping the tires from Max back toward car number 76. Meanwhile, Paul Darby looking to close in with car number 40, looks to the outside. TNT not far behind, could make a similar move. As the action hot and heavy back in the middle of the pack. I believe car number 77 being driven by Billy Schmidt out of Wyoming, Rhode Island. But again, we're going to have to verify that from the pit area. Meanwhile, back up front, the King has reeled in our leader. Rob Wozniak, one of the top running rookies in the Rose Auto Supply program, holding off a seasoned veteran as Gambino hot on the trail. Gambino tucks it in right underneath the back bumper. He's still got 5 laps to play for the lead, no particular rush. Although he better look up in the rearview mirror as Mark LaJoy hard on the throttle, looking to close in with car number 4. Dorothy runs 4th, Danny's 5th, then it's the 15th, Rocket, Zemke in the 17th. On the outside is the 9 of Babinski, and Scholler in the 85 with the Ento, bringing up the rear with car number 15. That's the way they shake down with 8 laps completed. A couple of spots being swapped through the turns, and we could have the leader as Gambino lifts that left front down the straightaway. Getting quite a bite with car number 7 here this afternoon, and he looks to take over the lead as they hook up momentarily on the backstretch. Fortunately, everything settled down quickly, and we have a brand new leader as the King sets to face off the 4 turns. 2 more circuits remaining. 10 down, 2 to go. Gambino out front, Wozniak in hot pursuit. LaJoy definitely closing in, but it appears to be a case of too little too late. White flag waving. Last time around the block. Drivers. Less than a third of a mile remains for your leader is Gambino. Opens up trail about a car length and a half advantage over Wozniak. Meanwhile, back in the back, they continue to swap positions. Off the fourth turn, checkered flag in sight. Gambino down across the line to pick up the win. Rob Wozniak will finish second. Third will go to Mark LaJoie in the 4-car. Paul Dorothy down with a 4th place finish. Fifth will go to Mike Canty in the 81. Sixth to Schmidt in the 77. Then it's the 76 of Savicki, the 88 of Brockett, the 9 of Babinski, the 17 of Zemke, the 85 of Scholler. With the Ento again, car number 15 rounding out the field. So headed to victory lane for car number 7. The Grand Prix Auto sponsored entry is Johnny, the King Gambino.
In the Dolly Auto Center sponsored Chevrolet. 6 rows back, car number 28 for Russ LaJoie. LaJoie hailing from Norwalk in the Rapparoofing. LaJoie's Auto Wrecking sponsored Chevrolet. Alongside in row number 6, it's set to be car number 20. That entry driven by Scott Britton from Bethel. And going scratch on the field, it's Little John Steiner in the Don Sitco TLB Auto Machine sponsored Chevrolet. So some 13 cars set to do battle in the first of 2 late model qualifying rounds. Danny Cordaway points to turn number 4. That's where he wants them side by side. Tim Bernard in the K9. He looks to lead the charge out of turn number 4. Car number 5 for Danny Stebbins, running in the 2nd spot, running 3rd. Car number 30 for Richie Carmen. Then it's Matt Spiri and Mark Atkinson, 2 of our regular runners. Bobby Brower running quite strong with the 16. He's running alongside the 60 of Glenn Griswold. Timmy Bernard continues to set the pace with the K9. The 5 of Danny Stebbins within striking distance. Now the 300-foot long backstretch into turn number 3. Stebbins working down low. He looks to take over control around number 1. Timmy Bernard back to the runner-up spot. Then it's the 30 of Richie Carmen. Matt Sapiri running in the 3rd spot. Make that 4th for Sapiri. He's got a 4-barrel carburetor underneath the hood, the 07. Then it's a 60 of Glenn Griswold. Griswold challenging Mark Atkinson down to turn number 4. Bobby Brower battling alongside Russ LaJoie with the 28. Tightly bunched through the turns. LaJoie battling with Brower into turn number 3. Griswold and Atkinson right out front. Danny Stebbins from Greenfield, Massachusetts looks to add to his advantage over Timmy Bernard up front. Battle shaping up for the 3rd spot as Matt Spiri battling with the 30. In that entry driven by Richie Carmen. Carmen now back to the 4th position as Spiri taking over 3rd. Running in the 5th spot, car number 60 for Glenn Griswold. Halfway marker coming out this time around. It'll be 6 down. 6 to go as Scott Britton from Bethel looks to retire on the front stretch. Field coming down complete lap number 6. Timmy Bernard continues to run that runner-up position. Spiri running 3rd. Neatly strung out down the 300-foot long backstretch into turn number 3. Lap number 7 coming up this time around as Danny Stebbins continues to set the pace. Tim Bernard running that runner-up spot. Spiri continues to maintain the 3rd position out on the speedway. Richie Carmen running 4th. Then it's the 60 of Brent Griswold and the 28 of Russ LaJoie. Matt Spiri reeling in the back bumper of Timmy Bernard's number K9. Battle for the 2nd spot. Spiri looking to come out on top in the 3rd turn. As he's able to close the door of the 30 of Richie Carmen up high. That allowed the 28 of Russ LaJoie to pick up a spot out on the speedway. 2 to go marker coming out this time around as Danny Stebbins from Greenfield, Massachusetts continues to lead Matt Sapiri. Timmy Bernard running next in line. Then it's Brent Griswold, 28 of LaJoie. The 30 of Richie Carmen. Mark Atkinson. Little John Steiner. White flag coming out this time around. Final time around the 1/3 mile oval. As Danny Stebbins continues to lead the charge. Checkered flag out this time by Danny Stebbins from Greenfield, Massachusetts. Picks up the win. Matt Sapiri in the Tire Country sponsored Chevrolet doing a fine job as he picks off the runner-up position. Settling for the 3rd spot, the K9 for Timmy Bernard from Norwich. In for the 4th position, Glenn Griswold from Ellington, Connecticut, as he finishes in the 4th spot. Finishing 5th, car number 28 for Russ LaJoie of Norwalk, the LaJoie's Auto Wrecking sponsored Chevrolet. That was car number 30, visiting driver for Richie Carmen from Port Jefferson, New York. In for the 7th spot, Mark Atkinson from Niantic, the hidden insurance sponsor Pontiac Grand Prix. Then was Kevin Devis of the Q105 sponsored Chevy Beretta. Little John Steiner in for the 6th position. Steiner hailing from Hebron, the TLB Auto Machine sponsored Chevrolet. And rounding out the top 10, it was Bobby Brower driving car number 16. Brower hailing from Waterford. So once again, 12 laps is the distance. The modified division next to take 2 the Speedway. White green flag out to the field. We'll try and over turn number 4. Get up on the pole, car number 43 for Raymond Airy from Bayshore, Long Island. 1 win and a 5th place finish at the Riverhead Long Island Speedway. Starting up alongside our own John Brower Jr. And row 2, the 62 for John Shortell from Glen Head, Long Island. Farmer Phil Rondo up alongside. Rondo with 2 feature wins to his credit in 1993, second in points. So once again, we're going to look for the start over in turn number 4. Raymond Airy, car number 43, looks to get the jump on John Brower Jr. Rondo quickly moving into the 3rd place with the 4th. Thunderbird Larry Cody coming to life with car number 89 as he looks to charge to 4th. That's the 62, John Shortell. Shortell running in the 5th position on the Speedway, and that's a battle between Wayne Smith and the 53 automobile driven by Larry LaFontaine. Fontaine giving way to Wayne Smith. That's Joe Mullen and Sean Egan, car number 84. Field working the way on to turn number 4, looks to click off lap number 2. Car number 43 of Raymond Airy. He continues to set the pace. Rondo right on his back bumper with the 4th Thunderbird. Larry Cody is closed in as well with the 89. He looks to take a peek down low. Rondo able to close the door on to turn number 2 as Raymond Airy continues as your leader. Rondo right on the back bumper as the invading driver now being challenged by veteran Phil Rondo. Rondo looks to take over the lead turn number 1. Larry Cody looking to follow suit. However, Raymond Airy able to close the door with the 43. Out of turn number 4. We look to click off lap number 5. Continues to be Rondo. Airy, Cody in car number 89. John Brower Jr. now up to the 4th spot. 62 next in line. That entry driven by John Shortell. Out of turn number 4. Halfway mark around this time around at 6 down. 6 to go. Late model field. Strung out around half of the 1/3 mile oval. The present time, we're just at the halfway mark. Lap number 7 coming up this time around as Rondo continues to lead this event. About 4 car lanes separating the 1st and 2nd place runners as Cody looks to challenge for 2nd. Maneri bobbling with the 43, turn number 2. Cody able to complete the pass to turn number 3 out of turn 4. Look to click off lap number 8. Larry Cody now trying to close in on your leader. Cody in the 89 looks to be reeling in the back bumper of Rondo's number 19. John Brower Jr. showing a little tire smoke with the 39. 2 to go marker. The word from the starter stand this time around. As Rondo looked to be slowing turn number 4. Cody continues to pull in the back bumper on the 19. About 3 car lengths separate the first 2 runners. Raymond Airy continues to maintain the 3rd spot up to 4th. It's car number 62 for John Shortell. It's John Brower Jr. in the 39 maintaining the 5th position out on the Speedway. White flag already being displayed to the field. Final time around the 1/3 mile oval for late model round number 2. That's Farmer Phil Rondo, car number 19. He continues to lead the charge. Checker flag out this time by as Rondo picks up the win. Selling for the 2nd spot, car number 89 for Larry Cody. In for the 3rd spot, car number 43 for Raymond Airy from Bayshore, Long Island. The 62. Driven by John Shortell from Glen Head, Long Island. He finishes in the 4th position. In for the 5th spot, car number 39 for John Brower Jr. of Waterford. 6th was car number 53. That entry driven by Larry LaFontaine from Miller Place, Long Island. 7th was Joe Mullen from Clinton in the 23. The Deuce of Terry Brick was 8th. 9th was the 70 of Wayne Smith from Chester. And rounding out the top 10, it was the 84. With that entry driven by C. Negan from Riverhead, Long Island. Once again,
This is a 12-lap qualifying event in water modified division. They wind him up, stomp on the throttle. Heavy off that fourth turn is Richie Gallup. Flexing his muscles early in this one, we've got him at 31. Harry Rice runs second. Lloyd Agor hot on his trail. He runs in the third spot as Galula is back to 4. Top 3 cars run nose to tail down to complete lap number 1. Ricky Knapp comes along with the checkerboard 7 car. Keep in mind he's got the modified motor under the hood. A lot of extra ponies doing the duty here this afternoon. Jimmy Smith in trouble with the meanwhile, back up front, Richie Gallup motoring away with the number 31. Looks a little weird going down the backstretch. Almost looks like a little VW conversion. Lloyd Agor closing in on the back bumper of Harry Rice, looking for the runner-up spot. That's the third place car, currently right on the back bumper. Appears to be setting up. Whether he wants to go inside or outside, not quite sure. Back in the back, nose to tail action for positions 4, 5, 6, and 7. As Ricky Knapp appears to be dumping some type of liquid out of the number 7 car. We do see the stream coming out from the right rear. Quite possibly he's dumping fuel out on the speedway. He pulls it down to the inside. Evidently he's aware he has a problem. Although he's not pulled off the racetrack, he needs to dump it right in the middle of the racing groove. Problem through the turn, quite possibly the moisture dumped by car number 7. As the car's getting a little bit slip-slidey off the turns, it doesn't take much to get these ultra slick Hoosier Racing tires to break traction and get the car sideways. Liz Jordan, Franco and Jody, welcome on board. Q105 was the host station of the Speedway this season. 105.5 on the FM, WQGN. Pace car is in. Neil powers up through the turn. Not quite sure whether we're going to get the green or not. As Ricky Gallup had himself a comfortable margin before the green even came out. And Danny Cordaway, not happy with the start, is going to make him do it again. Actually, to be an ideal start, the front 2 cars should be almost side by side. The 31 should have a slight edge. He's the leader, but it doesn't always quite work that way. Much better this time as they wind him up through the gears. Danny Cordaway says no, keep the yellow flag out. All right, looks as though this could be the time. Evidently, everybody not quite in tune and not quite ready for that last restart. Lines up once again on the backstretch. Cordaway pointing to the line just out of turn 3. Now they wind him up back through the gears. The green is out, and we have the leader right where he was about 4 or 5 laps ago, up in front of the field, already opening up an advantage. Harry Rice continues to run second, but he's about 3 or 4 car lengths behind. And the halfway marker is due off this time by 6 down, 6 to go. Richie Gallup appears for all intents and purposes to have the field pretty well covered. Harry Rice continues to run second, and it's Lloyd Agor, the 14 of Freddie Alkus. Then we go back to the 63 of Danny Gallupa, the 29X of Randy Sayer. Carl Kubitsko in the 22X and Jimmy Smith in the U2. Field spreads out rather quickly. Of course, we are better than halfway through this qualifying event. Richie Gallup getting a few extra practice laps. So it seems, trying to get the handle on car number 31. Gallup has raced here a few times this season. More often in the past. He's been around the area racing at Thompson, Stafford, Riverside, and the like. He has raced a number of times for the new crew in the 31 car. This afternoon, just one more engagement. He's got the big motor under the hood, rearranged sheet metal, showing he's ultra fast. To get the popsicle stick this time by. Here we go. The Danny brought away from the flag stand. Gallup in a runaway. Lloyd Agor, on the other hand, continues to battle with Harry Rice for the number 2 spot. Side by side, Agor gets the better of Steele off turn number 4. Up into turn 1, Rice in third, Agor in second. They had been running the opposite for quite some time. This one will end with the checker this time by with the 31 of Richard Gallup taking up the win. 22 of Agor settled for the second spot. Third is the 10 of Harry Rice. Fred Alkus in the 14. The 53 of Danny Galula. The 29X of Randy Sayers. The 22X, Carl Kavitsko. And the U2 of Jimmy Smith rounding out the field. Qualifying round number 2 set to come out as the Coors and Paul's TV sponsored entry heads to the infield for victory lane ceremonies. Scheduled to go on the front row. It's car number 15, hailing from Milldale, Connecticut. It's John Anderson aboard car number 15. John's been here a couple of times this season, but it'll be the first time for the 15 car. Scheduled to go outside, sporting a lot of sheet metal. It's car number 21 for Mike Gator out of Norwich, as Mike Gator has the roof way up in the air looking for some downforce to keep the rear tires of the car, using up all the horsepower he has available under the hood. Clint's green flag going out to the field one more time. And Randy Cordaway, one of the drivers we look to go racing next time around. Field is set. A lazy green, or that's what we see from our vantage point, folks. The yellow flag is already out. Wasn't quite the start Danny Cordaway was looking for. Once again, the field is set. They're side by side. 4 rows. John Anderson on the inside. The 21 of Mike Gator on the outside. They wind him up through the turns, anticipating the green. This time we're going racing. John Anderson once again able to jump out front with car number 15. This time it's followed by the one of Bob Potter as Teddy Christopher and Mike Gator battle for that third spot. Christopher makes short work of the problem. Now looking to check our leader. And John Anderson and the one of Potter now looking to motor on away. You understand, Jerry Crow running into problems during warm-ups. And car number 43 has yet to come out for a qualifying event. Again, John Anderson had some of the fastest time in warm-ups. And Bob Potter was basically a Saturday night illegal number 1. And right there, looking to take over command in this qualifying event. 3 laps completed. Anderson is out front, but he's got a lot of competition right on his rear bumper. Potter being tagged by 54, who tags Anderson along the way. And Teddy Christopher has that nitrous oxide under the hood. Quite possibly that's what happened. He got him forward a little bit faster than he first thought. You can hear the added horsepower coming from under the hood. Christopher now takes the thing to the inside of the one of Potter. Unable to make the move, Potter continues to run in the number 2 spot. Right on the back bumper of John Anderson. Halfway marker, followed this time by Anderson. Once again, leads the charge in the third number 1, followed by Potter in the 1, Christopher in the 54, Mike Gator in the 21. Scott Spaulding in the 47, the 19 of Hewitt, the 03 of Mike Barry, and the 96 of Sean Hayes. Now the field begins to stretch it out somewhat, except for the top 4 cars. It's a battle for the number 1 spot and the battle for the 3rd spot. As Potter gets a little wide in turn number 1. That allows for the breathing room. John Anderson now has a car length to play with as we run off turn 2 down the 300-foot long back straightaway. Anderson hard on that throttle, trying to maintain that number 1 position. Time is running out in this qualifying event. 9 laps already posted on the Busch Racing scoreboard. 52 to go next time around. Anderson, Potter, Christopher, and Gaeta. That's the top 4. They've been that way for quite some time. Again, it's Potter looking to the outside, looking to make a move on your leader, but coming up just a bit short for his efforts. White flag due out this time by as Anderson smoked it up. Potter jumps on the brakes trying to stop. Teddy Christopher bangs him in the back end. Also involved is Scott Spaulding in the 47. So we did see smoke from the 15 before that happened. So whether he just broke traction or something happened with the race car, we're not quite sure. But Anderson was then tagged by the 1 of Potter, who was then tagged by the number 54 of Christopher. They've had a very positive effect on the Speedway in 1993, and hopefully will continue in 1994. But right now, time to return back to the open wheel modified action with 10 laps complete, 2 to go. Only 5 cars remain, and Mike Gator in control with car number 21. Bruce Hewitt out in the marbles with car number 19, opens the door for Potter. Potter moves on to take the runner-up honors, as Hewitt drops into the 3rd spot with Mike Barry and Scott Spaulding looking for the position. Michael Gator having a few opportunities to race this season, taking full advantage this afternoon in control of car number 21. Headed to victory lane, checkered flag waving. Mike Gator picks up the win over Bob Potter. Bruce Hewitt will settle for the 3rd spot. Mike Barry 4th, and Scott Spaulding, the Rose Auto Supply Rookie of the Year, picking up the 5th spot.
Well, 50 laps of green flag racing is the order of the day for the late model division. The drivers looking to tighten up the ranks on the front stretch. They tuck in behind the safety vehicle. And Larry Cody, he sets the pace. Back of the pack looking to tighten up the ranks with the front half of the pack. Again, Larry Cody and Ray Maneri up in row number 1. Pace car ducking down off the speedway on the backstretch. Danny Quarterweg stares the field down. They wind him up out of turn number 4. Green flag comes out on the speedway as Larry Cody looks to win the drag race down to turn number 1. Ray Maneri settling down to that runner-up position, but here comes Farmer Phil Rondo as a car in trouble on the backstretch as Tim Bernard rides the Armco barrier. Bernard keeps the car up alongside the Armco barrier. Got the car rolling as we continue to run under green. Nari showing some front end damage on the K9. He's going to try to get the car down out of the racing groove. We continue to run under green as Larry Cody now being challenged by the 19 of Rondo. Rondo looking down low with the Ford Thunderbird, battling up alongside their current leader Larry Cody in the 89, side by side down the 300-foot long backstretch into turn number 3. As a brand new leader looks to emerge as the 19 of Farmer Phil Rondo taking over control. Larry Cody running the runner-up spot with the 89. Then it's the 43 of Ray Maneri. He's running that 3rd position. Matt Sapiri continues to maintain the 4th spot out on the speedway, although there's a little distance between he and the 3rd place runner of Ray Maneri. Top 3 automobiles looking to pull away from the 4th place runner. The 62 of John Shortell running 5th out on the speedway. Back half of the pack continues to play a little bumper tag through the turns as the 19 of Rondo continues to lead the 89 of Larry Cody as the first 2 drivers look to be pulling away from Ray Maneri in car number 43. Tim Bernard, the K9, has the car off the speedway. Nice piece of driving as he's able to keep the field running under green. The Busch Racing Series scoreboard showing 6 laps now scored as complete. Couple cars going down. Dennis Krauski and the 38 automobile. Make that the 20 of Scott Britton. They're both going down laps 2. The 19 of Rondo and the 89 of Larry Cody. John Maneri, Ray Maneri continues to run in that 3rd position. Matt Sapiri maintaining 4th. 62 of John Shortell continues to run fifth. That's the 28 of Russ LaJoy. John Brower Jr. battling with the 60 of Brent Griswold Jr. They're battling for the top 10 out on the speedway at the present time. Brower coming out on top of that spot. Griswold back to next position out on the speedway. It looks to be car number 5 for Danny Stebbins from Greenfield, Massachusetts, as they continue to dice for position out on the speedway. Lap number 10 coming up this time around. Phil Rondo continues as the leader. Cody running second in the 89. 3 wide on the front stretch. Car number 20, Scott Britton, a lapped automobile, as a heavy group of traffic working their way down the backstretch. They're trying to get past the 20 of Scott Britton. Drivers doing a fine job as they make their way past the slower automobile, caught up high against the Armco. Danny Quarterway telling the driver to get it down out of the racing groove, as Bill Rondo coming down to click off lap number 12. Rondo closing in on the slower automobiles out on the speedway. Car number 86 going down to lap 2. Your leader, that's Brad Phillips and Leo Ben Adams, the next drivers to go down to lap 2, the current leader. About a straightaway advantage between first and second. Rondo across the line now. Larry Cody running second. He's at the line. Looking for the third place runner. Car number 43 across the line. Matt Zakiri running fourth. 62 of John Shortell continues to run in the 5th position. That's Russell Joy and John Brower Jr. for 7th and 8th. Running 9th. Looks as though it's car number 5 for Danny Stebbins. Kevin Davis rounding out the top 10 the present time with the Q105 sponsored Chevy Beretta. Then it's Griswold in the 60 and the 53 of Larry LaFontaine. Those are how the top 12 stack up after 18 circuits around the 1/3 mile oval. Your race leader now looking to put the deuce of Terry Brick down a lap. Rondo now has a little breathing room between he and the next pack of runners. Larry Cody continues to work in some of the slower traffic, battling with little John Steiner and Joe Mullet on the backstretch. Lap number 20 coming up this time around. Rondo continues as your leader. Late model field strung out all around the 1/3 mile oval. Car number 86 running into some sort of mechanical difficulties on the front stretch as the caution is out on the speedway. Caution coming out for the 5 of Danny Stebbins from Greenfield, Massachusetts. And it looks as though it's car number 20. The other car involved, that's Scott Britton from Bethel, Connecticut. As those two cars coming together over at turn number 4, as that's the first caution after 20 circuits of the 50-lap main event, all part of the Busch Open right here at the Waterford Speedbowl. A couple cars going to the pit area. Mark Atkinson in the 7X. As the wrecker crews now move in to check on the driver's condition. Points green flag going out to the field. We're going to try to go to green this next time around. 2/5 of the way home. Scoreboard showing 20 down, 50 is the magic number. And the first caution of the afternoon in the late model main event. Coming out for an accident, turn number 4, Danny Stebbins and Scott Britt running into trouble. Pace car looking to duck down off the speedway. We're going to look to go back to green this next time around. Terry Brick back down after his visit to the pit area, as is Mark Atkinson in the 7X. So once again, the safety vehicle off the speedway on the back stretch. We look for the start over in turn number 4. Bill Rondo on the throttle first as he looks to make his way down to turn number 1. Larry Cody trying to get past some of the slower automobiles as he'd like to have the opportunity to catch up to your current leader, Phil Rondo. Cody, though, smoking through the turns. Joe Mullen receiving the passing flag from Danny Quarterway atop the starter stand. As Cody now looks to have free room between he and your current leader, Rondo, on a turn number 4. Lap number 22, now history. The field running tightly bunched on the front stretch, 2 and 3 wide into turn number 1. Rondo continues as the leader. Cody not being able to eat into Rondo's lead very much at this point. It's quite perhaps he's content running second. Checking for your third place runner as the 30 automobile, a little loose out of turn number 2. That's Richie Carmen, just as your third place runner, 43 of Ray Beneri, was working his way by. A little hairy photo for Beneri. Halfway marker coming out this time around. It'll be 25 down, 25 to go. Rondo works his way out of turn number 4, picks up that point from Danny Cordaway. Larry Cody already across the line. Russ LaJoy coming to life with car number 28, LaJoy. Battling for the third position out on the speedway. The LaJoy's Auto Wrecking sponsored Chevrolet are battling right up alongside Ray Beneri. John Brower Jr. right there as well. They're battling for position out on the speedway. Looks as though Beneri taking advantage of a slower car number 84 for Steve Egan, as he's able to maintain that third position out on the speedway. Looks as though LaJoy running fourth. That's John Brower Jr. and Matt Sapiri. Brower a little loose out of turn number 4, gathers it back in quite nicely as he's able to maintain his position out on the speedway. Black flag going out to car number 12. That's Dennis Kukowski from Claverton, Long Island, running into some sort of mechanical difficulty. That car smoking quite heavily. Car trouble on the front stretch, the 84 breaking traction. The field forced to scatter everybody, able to stay pointed in the right direction as we continue to run under green. Farmer Phil Rondo looks to be adding to his advantage over Larry Cody. Saw the advantage down the backstretch. Rondo, though, is going to have to contend with this pack of slower cars in short order, as he's rapidly closing in on the bulk of the late models in competition. Lap number 30, already history. Lap 31 being scored this time around. Rondo and Cody. Ray Beneri running third, Russ LaJoy running fourth. John Brower Jr., Matt Sapiri running 5th and 6th. Car smoking through the turns, Glenn Griswold Jr., car number 60. Apparently it looks as though it's just a little tire smoke. Griswold being challenged over at turn number 3 by Kevin Devins. So Phil Rondo already contending with some of the slower automobiles. Passing flag going out to Joe Mullen as the third and fourth place runners, Ray Beneri and Russ LaJoy, looking for a little racing room. Battle on the backstretch for the 5th position. John Brower Jr. battling with the 07 of Matt Sapiri. Tightly bunch on the front stretch. Looks as though a couple cars hooked together. Right as your leader, battling with Mark Atkinson. As Phil Rondo working up high, trying to get past Leo Ben Adams and the Deuce and Terry Brick. Those are both lapped automobiles. Smoke beginning to come a little heavier from Glenn Griswold's number 60. Griswold about to be lapped by your current leader, Phil Rondo. Lap number 37 coming up this time around as Rondo looks to put Griswold down a lap. Larry Cody continues to run second, running right behind the 70 of Wayne Smith. Looking for the third place runner, Russ LaJoy in the 28. Ray Beneri now running fourth. He's being challenged by the 39 of John Brower Jr. Brower, a hometown driver from Waterford. He's running 5th out of the speedway. Then it's Matt Sapiri and the 58 of Kevin Devins. However, your current leader looks to be closing in as he's got all but the top 6 or 7 lapped at the present time. Rondo making his way past the 53 of Larry LaFontaine. Lap number 40 coming up this time around for your current leader, Farmer Phil Rondo. From Baltic is Matt Sapiri running into trouble with the 07. Something amiss with that automobile, smoking quite heavily down the backstretch. Smoke continues to grow on the 07. Kevin Davis right behind with the 58. Black flag now going out to Superi. Your leader, Phil Rondo, right behind. Superi now heating the black flag. He's out of the racing groove as we continue to run under green. Kevin Davis now down a lap to the leader. And all but the top 5 have been lapped at the present time, as Rondo now closing in on the 5th place runner, John Brower Jr. As Brower now going down a lap. Right in front of him is the 4th place runner, Ray Beneri. Beneri working on the lead lap. Black flag now going out to car number 60 for Glenn Griswold Jr. As Superi has a 07 parked in the infield, as Ray Beneri now down 1 lap to the rest of the field. As farmer Phil Rondo continues on his charge. Glenn Griswold Jr. looks to retire the 60 to the infield. He's out of competition. Mechanical difficulty settling in on that automobile. Currently the cars on the lead lap, the 89 of Larry Cody and the 28 of Russ LaJoy. Those are the only other 2 cars on the lead lap with your current leader, Phil Rondo. Rondo working down the 300-foot long backstretch into turn number 3, closing in on LaJoy's back bumper. Lap number 46 being scored this time around, as Rondo looks to put Russ LaJoy down 1 lap to the rest of the field. Looking for the 2nd place runner, Larry Cody, out on the speedway. Caution is out on the speedway as Joe Mullen losing a tire on the 23. So caution coming out on lap number 46 is the Action Amusement. New England Computer Consultant sponsored Chevrolet Lumina losing a right front tire, Larry Cody. So it looks over, we're set to return to green. Scoreboard showing 46 laps as complete. Only 2 drivers on lap number 46. Phil Rondo and Larry Cody, car number 89, a pair of Waterford regulars. Safety vehicle looking to duck down off the speedway. 4-lap dash to the finish. Farmer Phil Rondo, car number 19, looks to lead the charge out of turn number 4. Ray Beneri running in that 2nd spot out on the speedway, actually running 3rd, down 1 lap. Kevin Davis and the 39 of John Brower Jr. Hard shot into the Armco barrier. Car number 58 of Kevin Davis taking a hard shot to the backstretch Armco barrier. Track crew quickly moving in to check on Davis in the Q105 sponsored Chevy Beretta. Hit over by the gate to the pit area. You can actually see where some of the paint was stripped right off the gate. I believe Kevin is out of the car. We can see him walking around. That is definitely Kevin Davis out of the automobile. So a pit gate is being worked on over to the pit area. Definitely a tribute to the builder of that automobile, as Davis taking a hard shot to the backstretch Armco barrier. Ford showing 46 laps as complete. 1.3 miles left in this main event for the full-body late model division. Once again, a pace car ducking down off the speedway on the back stretch. We're going to look for the start between turns 3 and 4. Got the green flag back out on the speedway. Farmer Phil Rondo looking to pick up where he left off. On number 19 for Rondo. Car up in the marbles is 62. of John Shortell. Looks to gather it back in, dropping back in position out on the speedway. Lap number 47 being scored this time around. We're looking with 89 Larry Cody. Cody, the only other driver on the lead lap with Phil Rondo. Cody looking to work his way past the deuce of Terry Brick and the 39 of John Brower Jr. Those two drivers swapping a little paint through the turns. 2 to go, Parker. Hardy beats way to your leader as farmer Phil Rondo looking to have his third feature victory of the season in the late model division. White flag coming out this time by as Rondo picking up the white flag from Danny Cornwick. Larry Cody continuing to work behind the deuce of Terry Brick. Leader working his way through the turns for the final time as Phil Rondo looks to pick up the win in the Busch Open for the full-body late model division. Larry Cody coming in for the second spot with car number 89. As Phil Rondo picking up the win in the Busch Open, while part of the late model portion of the Busch Open right here at the Waterford Speedbowl. Rondo looking to pull down in victory lane. Joe Golis already down trackside. He's going to have a word with your feature winner.
Well, folks, it looks like the hometown boys done good, as they say, as at least a couple of the top finishers, I believe 3 out of the top 4, are regular Saturday night late model competitors here at the Speedway. Nonetheless, in victory lane, driving the H&H Auto Machine, the Bears Construction, Marvel Auto Body, sponsored number 19. It's the bomber out of Baltic, Connecticut, Mr. Phil Rondo. The 1992 track champion, many times past champion, Cheryl Gutu down here at victory lane makes the presentation. Finishing second with a good run and a good effort this afternoon, car number 89 for Mr. Larry Cody. By the way, Larry's young daughter, Nikki, won the Q105 Maynard contest just 1 week ago. Congratulations, Nikki. And finishing third, well, it looks like the 28, I'm not quite sure, but Russell LaJoy picking up that third spot. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 3rd annual Busch Open, the 50-lap late model feature, the farmer himself. You know, Phil, this has not been the best of seasons in 1993, but this afternoon has to take away a lot of the hurt. You sure done good against those outside fading cars. Last year you had almost a hot setup, it just didn't last. What difference did you do here today to get you down in the victory lane?
We basically come down to the exact same thing we had last year, except for we come loaded for bear. We knew everybody was coming, so we did a little extra here and there, and hey, it all worked.
How about telling the fans exactly what you changed on the car, real quick, Mike?
We put a 4-barrel manifold and a good 4-barrel carburetor on it, headers, and we put 10-inch rims with 8-inch slicks on it.
You know, they were hoping that maybe you had the modified motor under the hood so they could complain a little bit, but it's really a late model motor.
Yeah, that's the motor we won with last week.
Well, you know, the question's been asked before, what do you do in 1994? You've got the modified, you've got the late model, or do you do both again?
We'll probably be back with both.
Well, that's what we like to hear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, nice round of applause for Phil Rondo. He picks up 50-lap win in that late model portion. We should be set to go this time around. Michael Gator on the inside. Freddie Alkis on the outside. And it's Bruce Hewitt and Harry Rice in row number 2. Michael Gator has the edge off the line. He leads the field in at turn number 1. Freddie Alkis right on his back bumper. Then it's Hewitt. 31 of Gallup and a 10 of Rice. Bob Potter currently running 6th. The 22 of Floyd Agor running 7th. Still early in this 50-lapper. The idea is to be there at the checkers, and that's still 48.5 laps away. Michael Gator really putting on a show with the 21 car. He's had a rather quiet season, only had a couple of opportunities to race. The afternoon taking full advantage as he won the qualifying round earlier in the day. Teddy Christopher catching up with that front pack. Christopher on board the 54 car. Keep in mind, he damaged the car during his qualifying round. It appears they've got it back in shape, and he's running relatively strong here in the early going. 3 laps down in counting. Michael Gator making a runaway at this point. He's got the 21 car out in front and is quietly adding to his advantage. Freddie Alkis, on the other hand, watches as the number 31 of Richie Gallup closes in on his back bumper. Gallup still in the rearview mirror of the number 14 car. has the number 1 of Potter on his back bumper. So the heavy hitters already up there looking to take over control. Gallup goes around the outside. He takes over second from Alger. Potter following suit. And now the number 1 moves into the 3rd spot. Alger drops back to 4th, but here comes Floyd Agor in the double deuces. Agor's on the move. Teddy Christopher, Blue Hewitt, and the 10 of Rice. They're all on their way to the front of the field. They're all looking to catch up with the 21 of Michael Gator, who has opened up a sizable advantage over the 31 of Gallup. Gallup hard on the throttle down that 300-foot long back straightaway. Definitely has the horses under the hood. Whether or not he can keep the car on the racetrack is a big question here this afternoon. Bob Potter, the 6-time past champion, running in that 3rd spot. He's been strong all season long. With a little bit of luck, Potter could have been right up there battling for the championship instead of running second behind Pearl. Kind of a year of catch-up. Potter has 3 feature wins, and our champion, Jerry Pearl, ended up being only 2. If Michael Gator's been holding back, he better think twice, as both Richie Gallup and Bob Potter have closed in. Jimmy Smith in the U2 car heads to the infield. You see smoke coming from under the automobile. But he's safely out of harm's way as the passing flag goes out to both the 96 of Jerry Culhane and the 22X of Kavitsko. We understand there may be a car on the racetrack dumping something from the car. Preliminary word, the 54 of Teddy Christopher, we checked it out and we do see something coming out down in turn number 2. So quite possibly they either have too much fuel and it's coming out the overflow, while the cap on the fuel tank is not on properly. We can't quite tell which, but we definitely see some type of liquid coming out from the right side of the 54 car through the turn. We are 13 laps into this 50-lap feature event. Mike Gator is your leader. Now it's become a 4-car battle as the 21 of Mike Gator being chased down by the 31 of Richie Gallup, the 1 of Potter, and the 22 of Lloyd Agor. But the caution came out for the 03 of Mike Derry, who moved it down in the backstretch. Looks as though we have 14 laps shown as complete, and Teddy Christopher looks to be heading pit side with the 54 cars. Now we see more liquid coming from the right rear of the car. Quite possibly just a quick correction is all that's needed. And he should be back out, picking up at the tail end of the field before we return back to green flag action. Christopher once again returns. Limited Sportsman cars waiting in the pit area for their opportunity at the Speedway. They'll be in a 30-lap feature event here this afternoon. Field being crossed over. This time it's Michael Gator on the inside, Richie Gallup on the outside. Row 2 finds Bob Potter in the 1 car alongside the 22 of Lloyd Agor. Then it's Moose Hewitt and Harry Rice. Danny Galula Jr. and the 47 of Scott Spaulding. Randy Sayers and Ricky Knapp. Mike Barry and Kavitsko in the 22X. They stack him up in turn 4. A tough break for Richie Gallup. He gets hooked up with Lloyd Agor. They're back in the pack. And that opened the door for Bob Potter as he looks to chase down the 21 of Michael Gator. Lloyd Agor running into problems with the 22 car. Stops up in turn number 2. He was involved in that altercation here in turn number 4. Now he looks as though he's headed back for the pit area. Field appears to be correct. Everybody in their proper spot. Clinch green flag going out this time, Bob, with 14 down, 36 laps to go. tighten up on the backstretch, anticipating the green, which we get this time by. Drag race into turn number 1. Michael Gator down on the inside, Richie Gallup on the outside. They touch through the turns. That opens the door for the 1 of Potter and the 10 of Rice. Running extremely close through the turns. Rolling the wheels, very vulnerable. The outcome, well, losing a couple of spots. Richie Gallup will have to pass his way back up. 15 laps in counting. This is a 50-lap feature event. About 20 laps longer than a normal Saturday night race. Potter looking to the outside, feeling the outside lane, maybe the faster of the two. Michael Gator running a nice line off that fourth turn, opens the door for Potter on the inside. The drag race up the front straightaway as Gator able to hang on. Potter falls back into line on the rear bumper of the 21 car. Harry Rice directly behind the 1 of Potter. Richie Gallup still well within striking distance as Lloyd Aglaw continues to work his way up from the back of the field. Once again, problems with the 54 car as Teddy Christopher dumping something out of the racetrack off the right rear of the automobile. And Bob Potter gets collected in turn 4 as Danny Galula Jr. goes around along with the 19 of Buick. Caution is out with 18 laps completed. No heavy contact. Apparently damage at a minimum, except for the 63 car of Galulu, as the two front tires pointing in different directions. We doubt whether or not Richie Galulu will get back out with the 63 car, as he suffered some pretty heavy front end damage in that collision up in turn number 4. Field appears to be set. Pace car is in. Mike Gator down on the inside. He's been there from the drop of the get-go. He's ready to go again. Hard on the throttle. They shift him up through the gears, bang a few bumpers. Richie Gallup anxious as he battles on the inside of Harry Rice for the runner-up honors. Mike Gator with a little contact through the turns, gets sideways. That opens the door for Harry Rice, and Rice able to take advantage, and he's your new leader off the 4th turn. Contact with Gator sends the 10 of Rice to the infield, and Mike Gator ends up in the outside wall. The right front tire maybe down on the 21 car, and we're back under caution. Tough break for Harry Rice. He had just taken over command. Contact through the turns, sent the 21 towards the wall. We see the right front tire down on the automobile. He should be heading to the pits to get some new rubber on, and Teddy Christopher also pit side with the 54 car. Lynch green flag once again being shown to the field to tell them to get prepared for the return to action. That finds Harry Rice and Richie Gallup alongside one another in row number 1. Scott Baldy and Lloyd Agor in row 2. Look to the Randy Sayers and Ricky Knapp in row 3. Bob Potter with car number 1 starting in the 7th spot. Michael Gator will probably start 8th on the outside of that row. 18 laps completed and counting, 32 to go. Green is back out. Once again, Rice out front with the 10 car. Richie Gallup stays alongside as they go through the turns, door handle to door handle. Rice stays tucked down low. Gallup likes that outside lane. Side by side, they exit turn 4, and it looks as though we have a brand new leader at the line as Richie Gallup takes over control. He's got him at 31. Harry Rice falls back in line. Lloyd Agor up to 3rd. He's got at least as fast a car as anybody else on the racetrack. Let's see if he can make it pay dividends here in the closing stages. Teddy Christopher back out, seems to have solved his problem with the 54 car. We don't see any liquid coming from the car, but the car is apparently not as quick as it was earlier in the day. Richie Gallup out front, class the field at this point at least with car number 31. New aerodynamics evidently paying some dividends. But Gallup always was a very fast driver here at the Speedway, even with the infrequent visits he's made here. Good equipment, a good driver is always good, folks. And this afternoon, Gallup is trying to prove it once again. Bob Potter on his way back up through the field is already back up to 5th with the number 1. He has as fast a car as anybody here on Saturday night. This afternoon, with a few few added tricks. He may be good to kick off the clock, but nonetheless, the crafty veteran definitely knows the short way around. Scott Bowling sliding off the speedway in turn number 2. We're at the halfway mark of this 50-lapper. The 47 car goes around, pointing in the wrong direction. It looks as though we're going to hold on lap number 24 as the caution flag is displayed for the 47 of the 1993 Rose Auto Supply rookie winner. Looks as though Ricky Knapp trying to refire the checkerboard 7 car. Freddie Beaver providing the hot rod, the old-fashioned modified motor. Field appears to be reset. Everybody in line. We are 24 laps into this 50-lap feature. Flags back out. This time Gallup again, the leader of the pack. But he's got the 22 of Agor down on the inside, battling with Rice for the runner-up honors. Rice on the outside. That opens the door for Bob Potter down low. Potter side by side with Rice down the back straightaway. As the edge through the turns, it looks as though Bob Potter is now back up to the 3rd spot. He was there earlier this afternoon, ran into problems, had to come from the back of the pack, now finds himself with a strong 3rd place effort. Harry Rice back to the 4th spot. 5th is the 21 of Michael Gator, then it's Teddy Christopher in the 54. Bruce Hewitt running next in line, then it's Randy Sayers, Scott Spaulding, Ricky Knapp, Carl Kravitsko, 14 of Alkis, and the 03 of Mike Barry. That's the way they're running at the present time on the speedway, not necessarily the way they show up on the scoreboard. Up to this point, Richie Gallup has been the class of the field. Teddy Christopher with mechanical problems has been slowed. He's back in the 6th spot. He's still got plenty of an opportunity to make his way to the front. Lloyd Agor, very quiet, very consistently working his way to the front of the field. He's up to the 2nd spot. He's come from the back of the pack as well. But he has Bob Potter to contend with on his back bumper. Harry Rice running in that 4th spot. Michael Gator protecting the inside lane as Teddy Christopher looking for room on the outside. Bruce Hewitt now running in that 7th spot, coming on strong once again. As they say, you can't keep a good man down, and Hewitt keeps on coming back. Christopher able to get by the 10 of Rice. He duplicates the task completed earlier by Mike Gator in the 21 car. Gator is up to 4th, Christopher running 5th. Harry Rice is 6th, then it's Hewitt and Randy Sayers. That's the front players at this point, except for the 1, 2, and 3 cars, which are Gallup, Agor, and Potter. Potter all over the back bumper of Lloyd Agor, looking for room around the outside, inside, whatever it takes. Less than 18 circuits to go. Mike Barry running into problems with car number 03 is down on the apron. The top 3 cars, seasoned veterans in open wheel racing. As Richie Gallup continues to cover the field, although Lloyd Agor and Bob Potter not too far behind and not to be denied. A lot of seasoned veterans on hand this afternoon, mixed in with a few rookies. And as you can see, positions 4, 5, 6, and 7, again, showing a lot of veteran talent. Mike Barrett trying to limp the 03 back into the pit area. He's got the car still going in a forward motion, although very slow. Hopefully he'll be able to get it into the infield and out of harm's way without bringing out yet another caution period. 37 laps complete. The 13-lap dash to the checkered flag as Mike Barrett limps back into the pit area. Bob Potter looks to the outside of Lloyd Agor. He was close to the outside lane, just couldn't quite make the pass stick. Falls back into line as time now begins to run out. This time by, there'll be just 10 laps to go as Richie Gallup continues out front with Agor in, Potter in hot pursuit. Mike Gator and Teddy Christopher, along with Lieutenant Rice, unable to close in. It looks as though Ricky Knapp losing power underneath the hood of car number 7. He points into the infield and limps his way towards the center, out of harm's way. Richie Gallup showing his strength here in the late going. He's been strong from the drop of the initial green. He's never slowed up on the attack, and he's been out front for quite some time. Lloyd Agor likewise coming from the back of the pack, now applying the pressure to our leader. As Bob Potter once again taking advantage of that outside groove, looks to pull alongside Agor. This one's going to go right down to the checkered flag as we are less than 7 laps away. Gallup watching the battle from his rear view mirror as Agor and Potter continue to battle for the number 2 spot. Little contact on that last circuit. Agor sideways through the turns. You know, everybody's pulling out all the stops. Everybody's looking for the win in the large payday. Bob Potter definitely faster through the turns. Agor has the advantage down the straightaways. Less than 5 to go. Time running out. If anybody's going to make a move, if anybody's been holding back, now's the time to stop to show their hand. Looks as though positions 4, 5, and 6 are closing in on our leaders, folks. Everybody's busy battling by themselves, not paying any attention. This one could have some effect before it's over. It's Richie Gallup, Lloyd Agor, Bob Potter. 3 run under a blanket as Potter again takes to the outside of Agor in turn number 2. It could be Potter has the idea of going right around everybody on the outside as Agor pommels a bit through the turns, giving Potter room. And we have a new runner-up as Bob Potter up into the 2nd spot. But Hewitt goes around in turn number 4, and that's going to bring out the yellow flag. Ooh, not what Richie Gallup wanted to see, folks. With just 2 short circuits remaining, Hewitt goes around, and that's going to set up a classic confrontation as 2 veterans line up in that front row. Richie Gallup down on the inside. He'll have a 6-time past champion as Bob Potter lines up on the outside. Lloyd Agor. Don't count out the 21 of Mike Gator, or the 10 of Harry Rice, or the 54 of Teddy Christopher. With the field being closed up, this one's going to be a shootout right to the final checkered flag, which is just 2 laps away. You got 2/3 of a mile to accomplish the task. Whether or not they can do it, well, only time holds the answer. And Richie Gallup looking for a win here with the 31 car, as is Bob Potter in the 1. Lloyd, well, we got a few fans from New York, but right now, it's time to go racing in the final 2-lap shootout. Gallup gets the edge at the line. Look at Potter. He's got the 22 of Agor down on the inside, but it looks as though Potter would like the outside lane to get a shot at the 31 of Gallup.
Agor back in control of 2nd. Potter now running 3rd. Mike Gator running 4th. Checker flag. 2 out this time by as Richie Gallup looks to pick up the win with the Balls TV sponsored Gremlin. Lloyd Agor settling for the runner-up position. Circle Asphalt Paving sponsored number 22. And Bob Potter settling for the 3rd position with the Rojo Trucking. CSC Santa Gravel sponsored Chevrolet. Agor finishing 2nd, Potter in the 3rd, Mike Gator 4th, Teddy Christopher finishing in the 5th spot. There was Harry Rice, Scott Spaulding, Randy Sayers, Fred Alkus, and Moose Hewitt.
Well, Richie Gallup, you're not a real stranger here. The car's very familiar. It's got to feel pretty good to take on the hometown boys and meet them on their own turf.
Yeah, it's real good to come back here. I like racing here. It's like a real fun place to race at, and these guys are pretty decent to race with. And Dude's team, and they did a great job this afternoon with the car. I mean, they spent some time doing some special stuff, and it really paid off.
Anything in particular you want to share with us other than that nice roof line?
They just did a good job setting up the car period. They worked hard on it, and I got to thank the crew, and I'd like to thank our sponsors, Paul's TV.
Well, don't forget Mash and Tuck and Sand and Gravel. They're there too. Of course, Mash and Tuck is very familiar around here right now. In fact, a lot of their employees are out here with us this afternoon. You know, you must have had quite a view watching Lloyd Agor and Bob Potter battle it out on your back bumper. You were about the only one privileged to be that close.
Yeah, I was more glad I was in front of that deal instead of behind it. I knew they were both there. It was a good race.
You know, Richie Gallup, you're racing here with us this afternoon. How about next season? Any thoughts or any plans for next season? Are they set in concrete, or are they still kind of open at this point?
I don't know what I'm doing next week. Never mind next year.
All right, Richie, congratulations. That's putting it pretty honestly, but we'll wait and see what happens as Richie Gallup picks up the third annual push open for the modified division.
And going scratch on the field should be car number 25X of Rob Ibbotson. Ibbotson hailing from Old Saybrook. White green flag going out to the field. Again, the top 4 rows redrawing for position. Scott Souza and Rob Losniak up in row number 1. Row 2, Mark LaJoy and Johnny Gambino. Then it's Eddie Reed Jr. and the 23 of Danny Green, Mike Caprio and Paul Dorothy making up row number 4. Okay, so we're looking to start this next time around. 30 laps is the distance. Scotty Souza and Rob Losniak up in row number 1. Little paint swapping up in row number 1. Everybody stays pointed in the right direction as we run under green. Souza has the advantage down low, but Losniak battling back up high with the 66X as Losniak takes over control turn number 3. Car number 7, Johnny Gambino. He looks to be coming to life. Gambino looking for his first limited sportsman win of the season as a veteran driver from Hamden. Now showing a little tire smoke from car number 7. Now looks to take over control as Souza and Losniak swap a little paint. And Reed Jr. comes into contention with car number 27. Reed battling with Losniak for that 3rd position. Losniak dropping back as Mark LaJoy quickly moving into challenge. LaJoy looking for that 4th position out on the speedway. As LaJoy picks off that spot, he's the 1993 Pure Stock Track Champion this season. From car number 4, he's battling with Eddie Reed Jr. for the 3rd position, right on Scotty Souza's back bumper into turn number 1. Souza continues to hold the 4 of LaJoy and the 27 of Reed at bay. Reed working up high with the big Ford Torino, looking to take over that spot. He drifts a little high through the turn. Souza able to battle back down low as Eddie Reed now dropping back to the 4th position. Mark LaJoy right there to challenge back for that spot as LaJoy and Reed swap back and forth position. Johnny Gambino remains out front unchallenged as the king. Johnny Gambino looking to return to victory lane. Souza continues to maintain that 2nd position out on the speedway. Mark LaJoy looks to be challenging down low. Souza able to close the door out of turn number 2. Losniak and Reed swap a little paint. And Souza a little loose through the turns. Gathers it back in quite nicely. Lap number 6 being scored this time around as the field continues to tighten behind Scott Souza. Danny Green and the 40 of Paul Dorothy look to be joining the hunt, as is the 50 of Mike Caprio, the 9 of Soup Savarni, and the 34 of Tucker Reynolds Jr. Well, looks as though Eddie Reed Jr. finally going to make his way past Scott Souza. Mark LaJoy make it 3 wide out of turn number 2 as Eddie Reed Jr. taking over 2nd. Souza little up high. Is Reed now up high with the 27. Souza able to battle back down low as now Mark LaJoy looking to take over 2nd as we've got trouble into turn number 1. The field tightly bunched. Drivers with nowhere to go. As Eddie Reed Jr. breaking traction down to turn number 1, slid back up the speedway right in front of a tightly bunched pack of cars. Now, fortunately, it did appear as though the contact was too severe on most of the drivers' part. The cars remaining over that area of the speedway, Ed Reed Jr., Mike Caprio, and Rob Losniak in car number 66X. It's Johnny Gambino, your current leader. Mark LaJoy will be lining up alongside row number 1. Row 2 will be Scott Souza and Danny Green. Those are positions 1 through 4. Then it's Tucker Reynolds Jr. Cook in the 63, and Kit Freitas in the 33X. Not necessarily in that order. That's how they're lining up out in front at the present time. Billy Roberts working down trackside as he looks to sort out the starting lineup. Pit game being closed as we speak. Scoreboard showing 8 laps now, 22 laps remaining. Johnny Campino, Mark LaJoy up in row number 1. Row 2, Scott Souza, Danny Green. That's Soup Savardi and Tucker Reynolds Jr. Cook in the 63, Kit Freitas in the 33X. Once again, the field looks to tighten up the ranks in turn number 3. They pick up pace at the same time out of turn number 4. Johnny Campino and Mark LaJoy, Lazy Green out on the speedway. Danny Quarterwake not satisfied with the start. Okay, word has it Quarterwake was satisfied with the start. However, Mike Caprio was stuck in the pit area behind one of the record crews trying to make his way down pit road. Quench green flag going back out to the field. Still trying again through the turns. Or it has Eddie Reed Jr. looking to return to competition with the 27. Reed, another hometown driver from Waterford, out with a big Ford Torino. At the hustle, the field set to take the green back up front. Johnny Campino, Mark LaJoy, Scotty Souza, Danny Green in the first 2 rows. Green flag looks to come back out as Johnny Campino looks to win the charge down to turn number 1. LaJoy battling back up high. Scott Souza down on the inside. Turn number 2. He's now running 3rd as Danny Green and Tucker Reynolds Jr. in the 34. Reynolds driving the big Dodge. Swaps a little paint with Danny Green. Everybody able to stay pointed in the right direction. Joe Babinski taking a quick trip on the track apron. Turn number 4. Looks to gather it back in. Track surface looks to be A-OK in turn number 4. The field looks to come out of turn number 4 to click off lap number 10. Campino and LaJoy working nose to tail out of turn number 2. Campino able to put a little breathing distance between he and the 2nd place runner going into turn number 3. LaJoy, however, appears to be a little faster through the turns. Campino able to pull it out on the straightaways. Scott Souza continues to have Danny Green hounding his back bumper, while Tucker Reynolds Jr. right there with the 34. Reynolds looks to be challenging Green for 4th as they're right on Scotty Souza's back bumper. 3 wide in turn number 1. Scott Souza tags the 23 of Danny Green. Tucker Reynolds Jr. able to take over the 3rd position. Green maintains a 4 spot. Soup Savardi now up to 5th. As Scott Souza looks to be dropping back. It looks as though a left front tire may be going down on the 2X. Eddie Reed Jr. going down a lap with the 27. As Johnny Campino continues to have the 4 of Mark LaJoy in his back bumper. Tucker Reynolds Jr. continues to run a distant 3rd. He's running a pure stock automobile. As Danny Green and Soup Savardi. Paul Dorothy on the move through the turns as Scott Souza goes around over in turn number 2. White green flag back out to the field. We're going to look to go to green this next time around. Busch Racing Series scoreboard showing 15 laps down. Once again, the driver is in a fast pace down the back stretch into turn number 3. 15 down, 15 laps to go. Johnny Campino and Mark LaJoy wind them up out of turn number 4. Green flag back out on the speedway. 3 wide for that runner-up position. Mark LaJoy caught up high. Danny Green swaps a little paint as the 34 Tucker Reynolds Jr. looks to take over second out of turn number 4. Halfway marker out. 15 down, 15 laps remaining. As Johnny Campino continues on his way, about a car length separating he and the 34 of Tucker Reynolds Jr. First 3 cars running by themselves. Mark LaJoy looks to come back to life with the 4. LaJoy looks to be passing Jeff Cook on the backstretch of car number 63. Out of turn number 4, the battle for that 4th position out on the speedway. LaJoy now looking to take over that spot from Jeff Cook. Cook now back to 5th, and it's Soup Savardi, the 40 of Paul Dorothy, Mike Caprio in the 50X, and the 28 of Terry Page. LaJoy looks to now be challenging for 3rd, closing in on the back bumper of Danny Green in the 23. LaJoy working down low, has Green caught up high into turn number 3. Green able to close the door. LaJoy running in that 4th position. 11 laps remaining as lap number 19 being scored this time around. Johnny Campino continues to have Tucker Reynolds Jr. on a car length and a half behind. Again, going to turn number 3, LaJoy taking a peek down low as Danny Green once again able to close the door with the 23 side by side at the line as LaJoy continues to eat away at Danny Green's 3rd spot. As out of turn number 2, LaJoy does have the advantage going the 300-foot long backstretch into turn number 3 as Tucker Reynolds Jr. has closed within striking distance of Johnny Campino. Rob Ibbotson in trouble with the 25X as he looks to spin that car out of turn number 2 right in front of the leaders. As Ibbotson bringing out the caution flag with 21 laps as complete. So the caution coming out with 21 laps scored as complete. Ibbotson now has the 25 fired up. Danny Cordaway quick with the caution as the leaders were working at turn number 2 as Ibbotson was going around out of 2. Okay, we're looking for the start over at turn number 3. Scoreboard showing 21 down, 9 laps remaining. 3 miles left in this limited sportsman main event out of turn number 4. Johnny Campino looking to pick up where he left off. Mark LaJoy, car number 4, moving up to challenge Tucker Reynolds Jr. for 2nd. LaJoy looks to have that spot into turn number 3. Jerry Savigny smoking the tires with the 76. Out of turn number 4, it's now Johnny Campino, Mark LaJoy. Tucker Reynolds Jr. back to the 3rd spot. Paul Dorothy coming to life with car number 40. Dorothy now looks to be challenging for that 4th position. We didn't see him make his way up there, but Dorothy right there in contention with car number 40. As he's battling with the 23 of Danny Green into turn number 1. Tucker Reynolds Jr. right out from car number 34. Right behind them is Jeff Cook, Mike Caprio, Soup Savardi, and Terry Page. Field working their way through the turns. This time around, they'll look to click off lap number 24. And we've got trouble over at turn number 4. Trouble looks as though it's corrected itself as Mike Tiani hooking up with Kit Freitas. Another couple cars running the same problem. It's the 66 and the 54 of Teddy Harlow. 5 to go marker being displayed to the field. Johnny Campino now being challenged by Mark LaJoy. LaJoy working up high. Campino closing the door on the backstretch. LaJoy again looking to take a peek up high Out of turn number 4 continues to be Johnny Cambino and Mark LaJoy. Tucker Reynolds Jr. now being challenged by Danny Green for 3rd. Paul Dorothy right there in the 5th position. It's Mike Caprio and Jeff Cook. Lap number 27 coming up this time around. Slower cars a factor as that's keeping Mark LaJoy in line with car number 4. As Rob Ibbotson again in trouble with car number 25X as he's up over in the turn 2 Armco. Ibbotson has the car up the Armco as the 2 to go marker coming out this time by as Johnny Cambino continues to have the winged warrior. Mark LaJoy, car number 4, glued right to his back bumper. Ibbotson now looking to get the car out of the racing groove. Right front tire down on the 25X. Drivers working the way through the turns as the white flag due out this time around. As Johnny Cambino looking for his first feature victory since returning to active competition. Car number 7, Mark LaJoy, right on his back bumper down the back stretch into turn number 3. The drivers working the way through the turns for the final time as the king, Johnny Cambino, returns to victory lane. Settling for the 2nd spot, Mark LaJoy, car number 4. Danny Green finishing in the 3rd spot with car number 23 is Tucker Reynolds Jr. from Westbrook. He finishes in position number 4, unofficially in for the 5th spot. It's car number 40 for Paul Dorothy from Clinton. Well, Johnny Cambino looking to pick up the win. Cambino looking to pull down into victory lane. Mark LaJoy again settling for the 2nd spot. Danny Green in for 3rd.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 30-lap Limited Sportsman feature event, he's the king, proving it once again here tonight as he picks up a 30-lap feature win in the 3rd annual Porsche Open here at the Speedway. All the folks down here to congratulate the winning driver. Johnny Cambino, buddy, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, pal. You know, we've been talking every Saturday night. The car's been fast. Just no luck, but you got it all tonight. The car was fast, you were right up there. You know, you had a couple of young guys battling on your back bumper.
That kid runs very good.
You better watch out for him. I think he's going to be there every Saturday night next year.
Nah, he's too young.
You know, Johnny Cambino, you've been around racing a long time. You've had a lot of good luck, and tonight just seems to add to the way of life that you've lived. You had the big party down in West Haven from the West Haven Speedway a few weeks ago, the big reunion. It just goes on and on. When does this story end?
I think I got another 10 years.
10 years, not bad. I hate to venture a guess as to the age. Johnny, congratulations, buddy, a well-run race. The Grand Prix Auto picks up the win in the 30-lap main event with the king, Johnny Cambino, at the controls. Well, looks as though victory lane ceremonies are going to continue for quite some time. There's going to be a big party in West Haven. But again, we do bid farewell to you, the fans, and hopefully you'll be back with us in 1994. Be sure to stay tuned to the local radio stations and keep an eye out in the local newspapers for opening day 1994. Well, once again, on behalf of the staff and the management of the Waterford Speedbowl, yours truly, Joe Golis, along with Bob Freeman, we ask that you please buckle up, drive safely, and be back here to visit us here at the Speedway in 1994.